Hey everyone, welcome back to Keep It Real, where we dive into the truth about relationships, personal growth, and everyday life. I'm your host Owin, and today's episode is one you definitely don't want to miss. We are talking about something every couple faces: conflict. Let's be real, arguing is part of any relationship, but how you argue, that's what makes or breaks the bond. In this episode, we'll break down why arguments happen, how to fight fair, the biggest mistakes couples make, and tools to argue with love, not damage. Let's get into it. Here is the truth: all couples argue. Healthy couples still disagree. What separates toxic conflict from healthy disagreement is how it is handled. Healthy conflict can lead to better understanding, stronger emotional connection, growth as individuals and as partners. But unhealthy conflict, such as name calling, shutting down, yelling, avoiding, leads to disconnection. Common causes of arguments include miscommunication, different expectations, emotional triggers, unmet needs or boundaries. Fighting isn't the problem. Fighting dirty is the problem. Let's talk about what not to do when arguing. So one of the first things that comes to mind is criticizing the person. Not the behavior. Saying you're lazy versus I feel frustrated, when chores are left undone. And next one is stonewalling. Shutting down and walking away without communication kills emotional safety. And next one we could think about is bringing up the past. Stay focused. Don't dig up every past mistakes to win the argument. Yelling or name calling, this escalates things. It creates fear, not resolution. Needing to be right. Ask yourself, do I want to be right or do I want to be connected? Assuming instead of asking. Why don't you say clarify before reaching to a conclusion or reacting to something? Misunderstanding fuels unnecessary fights. A fair fight focuses on resolution, not domination. Let me tell you about Ella and James, and these are pseudonyms. They argue constantly, not about huge things, but the little stuff: laundry, texting, dinner plans. Over time, those little fights turn into distance. Ella said one day, "I don't feel heard." That moment changed everything. They started learning to fight for the relationship instead of against each other. They made a rule: no name calling, no raising of voice, and no leaving the room mid-fight without saying, "I need a break. Let's come back to this." It took practice, but eventually their conflicts became productive, not destructive. I'm going to repeat that again. By making those simple choices, it took practice, but eventually their conflict became productive, not destructive. You can fight and still stay connected. You just have to learn how. Let's talk about some tools. Use, I statements. I feel hurt when instead of you always. Take breaks. When things escalate, pause, breathe. Come back when emotions are settled. Active listening. Don't just wait to respond. Really hear what they are saying. Validate emotions. You don't have to agree, but you can say, "I get what you feel that," or "I get why you feel that way." Repair after conflict. After an argument, reconnect. Say sorry. Hug. Affirm your care for each other. Know your triggers. In certain, if certain words or, tones set you off, talk about it before the next argument. You are not going to avoid conflict forever, but you can avoid destroying each other in the process. Thanks, for tuning into this episode of Keep It Real. Arguments are inevitable, but pain, disconnection, emotional damage, that doesn't have to be. When you learn to argue with empathy and maturity, you grow together, not apart. If this episode helped you reframe the way you see conflict, please share it, leave a review, leave a positive comment, or hit the subscribe button. Next week's episode is about something that heals, the power of the power of apologizing right. You don't want to miss it. Until next time, stay grounded, stay kind, and always keep it real.